Welcome back. So this is Divinity Virtue. So I got an interesting just way of life right now. I kind of believe that life is a video game, and that if you don't learn your lessons, they just get repeated over and over until you eventually figure out the right way of doing things. So when I was going to university my first time, and I graduated in 2007, so I don't remember the exact year. Well, I guess it was 2007. There we go. Never mind. So essentially, I was going to university, and I can remember. I think I had 3 months or 2 months left of school. Um, Bills, trying to cover university, partying, food, rent, all the things that make you an adult. And I can remember going to the casino, and I was a slot attendant. And this is kind of how the circle of life works, I think. So when I was working there, I got written up 3 times before I got fired. So my first write up was because I didn't sew my pants with black string. So they actually wanted you to sew your pockets shut so that you didn't steal money or anything. They didn't have the technology like they do now. My second warning was that I got held up behind a train, and I ended up being, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes late. It is what it is. And my third warning that eventually got me fired was I remember I was standing in the slot cage, and the manager always had a thing like, "Oh, don't be standing around. Go do something. Go do something." So I can remember being young and cheeky at that time, and she was standing around doing nothing, and I'm just thinking, "Well, that's very convenient." And so yeah, I, I kind of made the comment going, "Oh, guess the manager can stand around, but we can't." Yeah, that was my third write-up. So I ended up getting fired that day, and they had to like company clothes and everything. And this is the interesting part about that day. So there's a few stories in this day. When I got fired, they said, "Oh, you can bring back go home, wash your clothes, bring it back, yada yada yada." I essentially just got naked, got to my boxers, gave them the clothes, and said, "Here you go, enjoy, do whatever you gotta do," and then pretty much said, "Bounce, I'm out of here." The second story that goes part of this is that I actually went to my friend's house, and he goes, "Ew, do you show up in boxers?" And I go, "I don't know, why not? It's just one of those things that Dustin does." And so that day, the interesting thing about that day is even though I got fired, I remember buying a Pro Line ticket, $30. It was my last $30, and I ended up winning a 400 to 1 wager. So I was watching football. I picked all long shots and ties. It was pro line, yada yada yada. And I remember going to work. I was like, "Oh man, I lost by 1 game. Didn't see what happened." And then when I went and told my buddy, I said, "Yeah, look at this ticket." And then he goes, "Oh, you're 1 game short." And then as I was watching the replays later that night, apparently there was a penalty on the very last game, and they got to redo it over. And then the ticket eventually paid off. So I made $13,000. My debt was cleared. I literally had a degree and had money in my bank account. It started off the summer with 5, 6, 7,000. I can't remember the exact number, but I had enough that life was starting off. So this is where I think that life kind of goes in circles. So today, and here's the interesting story about this is I had applied at the casino again, same casino, same person who fired me. I don't even know, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, same person. Is that ever interesting? So they put me through the dealer training, and I had no problem learning blackjack, poker, showing up on time. I'm not the bad worker that I was back in the day. I still have to have a personality and a little bit of an attitude and ego, but it is what it is. So I showed up. And I can remember all the people that they were in my group or in the training, a lot younger, not so disciplined, didn't know the rules, made a lot of mistakes, couldn't even count to 21. Couldn't count to 21. And so I remember I was like, okay, this is interesting. So when we had to do our dealer training tests, and this was about 2 weeks ago, so I did my dealer training test. Everyone passed except for me. And so the very final question or situation, sorry, was that they made it the extreme. So dealer has a blackjack. There's splits. There's double downs. There's 21s. There's the insurance. They set you up pretty much to see if you understand everything. Now, this was the interesting part. If you teach me things from A to Z in the proper order, 9 out of 10 times I will do A to Z. So when I did that last final test, their exact words were, and they fooled around, they tried to put chips in, they tried to touch their cards, they just tried to mess me up as much as they could. And at the end, they go, oh, well, you know, we don't actually think that you are suitable for this job quite yet. We suggest that you go home and practice, yada, yada, yada. And I'm thinking, okay. So I actually said thank you, and I didn't blow over my mind, but I came home and I lost my cool. I was like, this is unreal. And I had to step back and I had to say, okay, was it me? I said, did I not learn the proper way? And I said, nope, I learned the proper way. Then I said, did I do everything right in that example? And they said, you are technically correct. And I'm thinking, how can you be technically correct on a blackjack scenario? Shouldn't you have taught me A to Z instead of A, Q, B, Z? But no, that's okay. That's fine. I was like, okay, maybe I missed something. And then I was I confident enough? I was like, I didn't have any butterflies, I didn't have any heart races, nothing. Like I was very, very confident coming in. So I went home, I thought about it and I was like, are those people that they hired better than me? I was like, no, can't be better than me, but maybe they did better on that scenario than me. And I said, but three of them can't even count to 21. And I'm thinking, I'm a finance major. 21 is just easy backhanded numbers. And then I was like, okay, so everyone got hired but me. And I was like, okay, this is very interesting because at the end of the day, it was me. It wasn't that I didn't know the stuff, it was that the people who were doing the hiring and training set me up for failure. And you can say, well, how come you didn't learn your life lesson? And this is the life lesson is that I'm watching things happen. Same thing, different people, different energy, different time frame. And so when I went back in, she started jabbing me. It was kind of not like, it was just verbal jabs saying, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this. And it got to the point where I finally said, you know what? This is interesting. I said, you guys set me up for failure. And she goes, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, I know who you guys hired. And three of them came and counted 21. I said, did they do better on the final example than me? I was like, probably if they did, then congratulations. But I was like, I don't think they did. And she goes, oh, well, you just have a chip on your shoulder and you think you're better than everyone else. And I said, no, I don't actually think I'm better than everyone else, but I was more prepared. I know the rules. I've been playing blackjack and poker my entire life. And I was thinking, you guys set me up. I said, you guys made it so that I could not officially get this job because you guys want me to become, I don't know, controlled by you guys or something. And I should have kept my mouth shut. But I watched her look me in the eyes and she freaked out. Freaked out. I'm going to tell you right now, once your trigger comes out and you freak out at me, and I can step back from that scenario and say, okay, it is you guys. It's you not looking at yourself in the mirror, being scared of whatever I bring to the table. That's okay. That's okay. So today I go in and like I knew what was going to happen. They gave me my termination notice. They gave me a 90-day ban as well, which is very convenient. But I'm thinking, okay, so what's the life lesson on this one? I said, thank you very much and have a great day. Same casino, same person, two different ways that I'm getting fired or terminated, I guess. And it's just like life is a video game. It really is. I just believe that everything that has happened in the past, same situations, same energy will keep popping up. Essentially, this was just a very good learning lesson to say least. I want people to believe that like if you're going to go work for somebody, that's the devil you choose. And it sounds really weird when I say it that way, but you're working for someone else's dreams. And like when you don't hire me because you have ulterior motives, that's just saying that you're trying to dictate how my life is or moving forward. I'm going to be honest with you. At the end of the day, maybe I don't have a job. Maybe I'm not making more money. But I'm going to tell you, when I when I looked at that whole situation, there was nothing I could do except for just keep my mouth shut. And sometimes maybe that's the life lesson. Say less, observe more, hear more. I don't know. All I know is that take my loss, take the losses before you become the boss. Try to be 1% better every day. Let's help each other to get ahead. Divine timing, divinity virtue. Let's just be better. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is what it is. I don't even worry about this anymore. I think what's going to happen is my whole life is just essentially everything that I did wrong, every trigger that I have not absorbed or figured out or understood why it has happened to me. It's coming up. It just comes up faster and faster. And I gotta tell you, as soon as I can get a good enough following, get my debt down to zero, I'm gonna have this company started up. I'm going to be traveling the world. And honestly, at the end of the day, like I said, traveling, cultures, and people, that's what makes me happy. Find your inner happiness. That being said, God bless. Amen. Have a great day.